Furret is a critically acclaimed Pokemon who made his debut in the first route of the Johto region. Furret's accolades are too vast to list here in their entirety, but some of his accomplishments include an impressive normal typing and access to the move Surf, allowing him to traverse distant waters. Furret has reached the peak of his power in Generation 9, after receiving the elite new move Tidy Up. Furret may not have the highest speed stat among his fellow Pokemon, but he is famous for walking at a consistent and brisk pace. Furret is by far the most celebrated Pokemon in history, and the unofficial mascot of the franchise in the eyes of the people, outranking even Pikachu and Charizard in recent polls. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me on the fridge today, Furret, and how are you?
Wow, absolutely honored. Incredible introduction. It's me, the Pokemon Furret. I'm so happy to be here.
I can't believe it's really you. I've dreamed of this day, and I'm a bit starstruck, I'll be honest. I've used you in Gen 3 OU, you're excellent, you have access to Trick.
Yeah, I understand. This fame is a new thing to me as well. You know, one minute I was just like walking around in the dirt, all of a sudden I'm on the world stage. It's me, Furret.
That's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. And we have so many questions from the loving fans at home. They all want to know what you think about various things like your drama with Zigzagoon and like all of your new tools you've received over the years and your experience as a centret in the past and how that's shaped how you view the world around you and all that, this kinds of things. So
yeah, really formulative experience, that one. Can't wait to get into it.
So we've got a question from Magic Ice who asked, how does it feel to be overlooked by competitive players who look at surface level traits like base stats and strong moves and things like this?
Oh, you know, competitive players really haven't learnt what's integral to the Pokemon experience. And I think it was Wolfie who said, you know, you have to win with your favorites if you really want to be the best Pokemon player. So I would just say to them, you know, you guys really have a long way to go in terms of understanding, because Furret, if you can win with Furret, then that's what makes you a true champion. And isn't that what we're all striving for?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for the question.
It's a genius answer. And I think that's...
Thank you.
I think the people keep using Pokemon that are just not their favorites, and it's despicable. It's frankly, I consider it gross. Like,
yeah, you remember that guy on the Gen 3 ladder back in the day who used to get angry at you for using Jirachi?
Well, Jirachi is my personal favorite Pokemon, so I don't know what his problem is, but he told me that I was using Legendarios. I mean, it's true. I admit it. But some of us have eclectic tastes, you know.
If you ever see a Jirachi named Legendario, you know that's a Jim Cool team. Should treat it with reverence as such.
Anyway, we got a question from...
Let's talk about Furret-related things.
Of course. Let's not get off topic, talking about stupid stuff, like Generation 3 OU.
No, yeah, that's a waste of time.
Bingus has a question. Furret, I understand you have the proclivity to tidy up certain past events, such as your actions during the Great War. I have not forgotten. Is Jim aware? I was not aware. What are you talking about, Bingus? What is this?
Wow, I didn't think we were going to get into this so early on. You know, it's funny you bring that up yourself, Bingus. Yeah, Furret's involvement in the Great War. Look, I really don't like to dredge up my past, and you know, I'm sworn to secrecy by the state, so
okay,
you're going to have to work a bit harder to get that information out of me.
Fair enough. We won't dwell on it too much. I mean, the past is the past. That's okay.
Yeah. 120 questions.
It's incredible how much the people just really have a lot to ask. And we've got a question from Para.ex. It's a good one. Furret, do you enjoy the taste of strawberry yogurt?
That's a fair question. Way back in the day, I used to sometimes get strawberry yogurt. My mother would prepare my luncheons.
Who's your mother?
Early days, that would be Furret, Mrs. Furret.
A female Furret, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty basic stuff. Anyway, she would prepare for the Furret Academy. I would have to take my lunch, and I'd sometimes get some strawberry yogurt. I was always thinking, I wish this was a mango yogurt or a vanilla yogurt.
I was going to say mango kind of goes crazy.
Mango is probably
way
the
better
best
yogurt.
But yeah, I've recently fallen in love with Greek yogurt a bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, I use my surf ability very effectively to travel all around the world and sample different cultures and cultures of yogurt as well. So
that's great. I mean, I don't know if many Pokemon have traveled as far as Greece. What's it like over there?
It's a pretty special place. I've been there a lot.
That's awesome. That's incredible.
Places such as Athens, Crete. That's a place.
Do you think when you were building your empire that when you saw like the ancient Greek structures that like evoked something within you? Like
every empire takes inspiration from every empire.
Of course.
That's all I'll say on the matter.
We've got a question from Figgy who said,
Figgy.
I happened to run into Lanoon the other day. Get this, he said he was the best white and brown elongated mammal, and that Furret is old news. I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter. What do you think? I mean, you and Zigzagoon go way back, and I think that
Yeah, look,
you're similar Pokemon. And
Zigzagoon, he's not a nice guy. Let's just get that out of the way
oh my
straight
god,
away.
really?
Yeah. Like, you see Linoon come out in battle, you already know what's going to happen. There's going to be some rubbish involving a drum or something. He's going to be moving quickly. Everyone's sick of that. You see a Furret come out, you think, whoa, is this
You got a
chilling
vaster
water?
move pool with.
Is he going to pivot on me? Is he going to tidy up? What's happening here?
It is a bit more compelling, a bit more like there's more flavor to what's going on.
Yeah, should call him Lin one dimensional or something. Freaking freak.
That would be smart to do that.
Pokemon puns.
That's good comedy. I love Pokemon-based
Yeah.
puns. Like,
I think we should talk more about how you pronounce various Pokemon names. That's compelling listening.
yeah, let's talk about that some more. Groudon.
Yeah, Groudon. Let's just say that for another half an hour.
Does anyone mispronounce your name, Furret? Is there?
Not that I've heard.
Misconception.
Furret's a pretty basic one.
Yeah,
There's
it's
probably
it's
some-
hard to mess up. That's what's great
some
about your
speak-
name. It's why you're so
speak Furret.
recognizable across the world, I think.
Undoubtedly. There's definitely someone out there who's saying Furret, and I'm already upset about it, to be honest, even though, I'm not connected to the World Wide Web. I live in the grass. I don't know what social media is.
Well, I don't know how you managed to hop on call with me today, but I'm thankful regardless.
I had to get my son to show me.
Ah, yes.
Centric. He's Gen Alpha, these kids.
Oh, believe me, I do. Ben Sharpeter asks, how is it that you frisk enemy items to gain information? Is it with sight or scent based? And do you have all the items memorized in some sort of mental database? I mean, how does this happen?
You'd be surprised how much physical equipment can fit underneath my fur.
Wow.
But these are. I'll give you one little tidbit from my experience in the Great War. You pick up a great many military skills, and frisking is something that requires some pretty intense training.
Oh, so it stretches back to your to that
all
whole
I'll say.
experience.
That's it's not luck, Every Furret that learns it has the ability frisk. They've
got a
some
history.
tough times. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, not many people realize that about Furret. Well, you are the Furret, but there's many Furrets,
No,
so.
there's many Furrets. I'm simply one of many.
Jake Oblong asked, in Pokemon Go, I had 250 plus Furrets with the nickname Eugene. What is your preferred nickname? Is it Eugene? Did you really? That's a lot of Furrets.
Oh my god!
Can you let them free, please? That's a lot.
That's insane.
You probably know some of those.
Yeah, that's many of my friends actually. My friend Eugene went missing quite recently, so it's a great discussion as well. Pokemon nicknames. I feel like it's not something people take seriously. They just put like song lyrics or they're stupid like "you're gonna lose" stuff like that. You can really get funny with them. I remember this is stretching back like over 10 years, but you had a Vaporeon called "We Get It," like "We Get It, you vape." I thought that was the funniest
That's very
thing
clever,
ever.
wasn't it? It was very clever.
Yeah.
That's a very old meme now. We get it, you vape. That's something
We
people
Get It, you
used to
vape.
say.
Exactly. Yeah, that was big when we were in school. And that Snorlax you chanced upon on the ladder recently called Ron Flexent. That's
Oh, it's a
probably my
brilliant
favorite
name.
ever.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it was a Hariyama, which makes it funnier.
Oh,
It was a Hariyama called Rodflexent.
That's even better. That actually makes sense.
Because he's not Ronflex, but
Yeah.
he's similar in his vibe. So
For those unaware, and if you're unaware, then you should be embarrassed. But Snorlax's name in French is Ronflex, so I guess
Yeah.
Hariyama's close similarity to Ronflex makes him Ronflexent.
Eugene has nothing to do with Furret, and there's the amount of
No.
Eugenes out there in this particular Pokemon Go mobile phone is ridiculous. So
This guy's clearly got some sort of mental illness.
I don't know. It's just
That's insane, though. 250 Eugenes. Poor guys. Every Furret has an identity,
yeah, they're
Having them all-
individuals. We are all individuals, as the
But
you know.
Furrets aren't meant to be kept in Lynette's PC or whatever it's called.
It's true.
Take care of your fellow man.
You got to use them in battle. That's what they're best for.
Of course, yeah. What did Peter say about Pokemon? It's like, what did they say? It was,
Peter Griffin.
Yeah, it was-
Which Peter?
no, PETA.
Oh, the Animal Rights Institution. They said it was probably forced combat. I mean, they got a point.
Pokemon just love, like, killing each other, Or
That's something I've
making
wanted. I mean,
each
you
other-
as a Pokemon, do you enjoy being sent into the field for the benefit of a human being and being forced to use Trick to put a choice band onto a Skarmory? leaving
Everything
them-
I do for my country.
Oh.
I will not go into detail.
Oh. well,
My
fair enough.
motives remain a secret only between me, myself, and God.
Well, so there's perhaps more agency on your end than we might expect. There you go.
no comment.
Amiibo Doctor asked, do you like tomatoes?
Tomatoes. Absolutely. My favorite food in the world is a tomato and basil salad.
Really? That's a pretty
I guess-
basic food.
Yeah,
But
that's just breaking the fourth wall a bit here, but that is actually my favorite food. Like, it sounds like something Furret would like as well. I
Well,
had
there
it
you
once at a fancy French restaurant. I was like, wow, this is the greatest thing I've ever eaten.
what kind of dressing is on that? Some balsamic vinegar?
Yeah, balsamic and a little olive oil. Keeping it ultra basic.
That's insanely simple, but I suppose
Yeah.
it does hit. It wouldn't be my
Well, I
favorite
mean-
food. I mean, it's more of a side, but
The
yeah.
secret is it's all in the tomatoes, man. Like, it sounds like, something boring, but if you have good tomatoes, because all mass-produced tomatoes, they get so they can be transported, they are picked underripe, and then they're artificially ripened with like some spray, so they're actually red, but they still don't taste, very flavorful.
Hmm.
Kenji Lopez alt, he's a food YouTuber. He has a great video on a BLT, and he talks about why, to him, it's a tomato sandwich with bacon rather than a bacon sandwich with tomato.
A good tomato makes all the difference. It's true.
A good tomato makes all the difference. You know why cherry ripes taste so much better than cherry ripes? You know why cherry tomatoes taste so much better than big tomatoes? It's because they don't have to artificially ripen them. They just pick them off the vine, in good
Well,
shape.
there you go. Yeah, that's true.
Or it's a tomato expert.
I'm sure he's finding some tomatoes out in the wild.
Yeah, he's frisking some tomatoes. He's
And by
he's a
him, I
pick
mean you.
I talk about myself in the third person often. Does Furretland? Hang on, give me 1 sec. Furretland's run away. I'm running away to find some tomatoes
Perfect.
as soon as this battle ends.
This is a great question from Andrew SP.
Do we know Andrew SP?
I don't know him, but he's got a good
Right,
question.
okay.
When you use the move chilling water, where does the water come from?
There's an obvious joke here to be made, but as I said before, there's no limit to the things I can keep in my fur. I have a cold. What do you call them in America? I have an esky, whatever the word is, an ice box.
What do they call that?
a
I think an
chili
esky.
bin. They call them chili bins in New Zealand. I've got a toolbox of some sort.
Call them chili bins? That's a bit silly.
Yeah, they
in
do.
New
Chili
Zealand.
bin. I think it's pretty funny. Yeah, I got a cold. I've got my water,
You got to keep
already
it chilled.
temperature control.
I mean, when you get limited stats, you got to pull out all the tactical advantages you can, and you pre-chilling the water. Not many Pokemon would do that to prepare for battle, going the extra mile like that for that element of preparation. So I think it's really admirable.
Of course. As everyone knows, stats are one component of a Pokemon. You got to
course.
factor in ability, typing, capacity to carry an esky.
Yeah.
These are essential characteristics of your battling bros. Thank you for the question. Fantastic question.
That was a good, excellent question. But for Baron of Beef Dip, Furret, who's your favorite Smash Melee player of all time? It was a good question. Are you a
Wow.
Melee enjoyer?
Yeah. That was actually one of the topics I had down to chat about in case we ran out of things. But yeah, big Smash Bros fan. I mean, me and Jim, our Smash history is long.
That's true.
Jim's been one of Furret's friends for quite a time. Back in the day of the documentary, me and Jim used to play on Dolphin Netplay quite often. I would kind of dance around characters. I used to play some Captain Falcon, some Fox. These days I mostly play Marth though, because those guys, my hands.
You
are
know,
just
I
too
recently
slow.
picked up Pikachu.
Did
Just
you
for
really?
fun, yeah.
Oh, you're damn.
I thought it'd be on
Yeah.
brand to play Pikachu. Maybe people
Yeah,
will be
true.
more
Just
interested in watching it.
complimenting your Peach.
Maybe I'm done with Peach. I don't know.
I saw you played. You played some Netplay
I
recently.
did.
You got smashed by a Yoshi. Was that the straw that broke the camel's back?
No, I mean, I don't really know the matchup. It's
Yeah,
fine.
okay.
I
You're
just
sick of the character.
no. I think that it's on brand
there's
for the
gotta be a reason.
Pokemon YouTuber to play Pikachu. Maybe, maybe
I
people will
guess.
care more about me playing Melee on the channel if I'm playing
think
Pikachu.
The viewers, they care about your well-being. If Pikachu is not the character for you, then
I actually
you
think
have
he's
to-
quite
yeah.
fun. Like I've learned all his basic stuff. I
Pikachu
like
is pretty sick. I love his up air.
I like playing someone fast because you can actually like approach and mix up approaches. Peach can't do that. Peach is so slow. It's all about defense with Peach. It's all about
Yeah,
baiting them to come in and then reacting. But
it's
Pikachu
a
can
beautiful
do-
thing, baiting and reacting. But yeah, I understand having the ability to actually engage and make your own moves happen. It's such a difference. There's that legendary video of Axe versus Silent Spectre at Evo when he beats him in like 50 seconds or something on Fountain of Dreams.
That's a
That's one
classic.
of the
Silent,
craziest matches.
Silent Wolf, I think.
Sorry, Silent Wolf. Yeah. I've been out of the game for a while. That was great. Who's my favorite player? That's a big question. I've kind of jumped around. I was a big Mango fan for a while, just because I respect how he's stayed relevant for so long and just is always innovating, even though he's just he's some dude with a fucking massive beard that like gambles all his winnings away after every tournament. I find that hilarious.
He's an absolute character.
Yeah. Favorite player? I think it's probably Dr. PP, to be honest. I think we're together on that one.
Me too.
Just because I think the time for us to get into the game was so perfect to be a fan of his, because like we got in a bit after Evo 2014, I want to say, and after that Apex 2014 had already happened. That was Beard Dr. PP. He beat Mewtwo King. And then that was leading into Apex 2015, which was like the peak of my Smash enjoyment. So watching that tournament was so sick. I was so happy for him. The whole Leffen chillin' dude Mango thing, that was sick.
It was an excellent tournament to watch.
Yeah. So I'll stick with Dr. PP, PPMD. I listened to, well, to be honest, I haven't finished it, but I listened to the first half of your conversation with him. Such an interesting guy too, outside the arena.
He was so cool to talk to. He was very easy to talk to as well.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Thank you for the question.
You wouldn't think Furret isn't a melee, but his talents extend far beyond what you would imagine.
Of course.
Comedy 778 has asked, is it true that some of the events in the hit TV show Breaking Bad were based on your life? I've heard this too. I've heard that rumor.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about before this conversation. That was the teaser question that I was given. I just heard that one was about Breaking Bad, and man, what a show! If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, then you're missing out.
It's an all-time classic.
Everyone's seen Breaking Bad. A lot of my friends have got sick of the Breaking Bad universe and quit like halfway through Better Call Saul. And I'm always like, dude, that's the best part. Towards the end.
Better Call Saul was so excellent as well.
That's so good.
Can't believe so many people have just not seen it. They're just like, the Breaking Bad was enough, but Better Call Saul, in some ways, it's even better. It definitely at least equal.
Yeah, that whole thing of like, it's such a great Vince Gilligan technique where he hyper focuses on one little activity that the characters are doing, and then the viewer is left to go, what are they doing? What are they doing? And you have to piece it together along with the character. Like, my favorite one was when Mike was trying to find the tracker on his car, and he was disassembling the whole thing.
Old Mike and Better Call Saul, some of those scenes are so cool.
So good.
I love they just take their time with stuff. They'll show some mundane stuff, but it's just so entertaining and fits with the character so well.
Yeah, it's such a challenge to make things entertaining when you're taking it at such a slow pace, especially for Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, when, the rest of the show is so fast-paced that directors are always looking for new ways to engage the viewers. So
I love, what prequels do a lot is they'll like force some backstory for some plot, some character trait. Like, I don't know, the Han Solo Star Wars movie or something, where every little thing about Han Solo in Star Wars has like a backstory. It's a bit too forced. What I love about Better Call Saul, Mike, in Breaking Bad, he's like this mysterious dude who somehow knows everything, and he's almost like magical, where he's just there when he needs to be, and he seems like he can do anything. And then in the prequel, they show, he's just like plans everything meticulously. Like you see that in action.
He has such a wealth of experience.
And, he's an older guy. He's not the most physically fit guy of all time, but he's just like a genius level planner. It's
so good.
It's so cool.
That's another great Mike scene where he goes to Madrigal and does a penetration test. I love when he goes to the guys who are unpacking stuff, and he's like, you need to go to the equipment room, get lift belts for you and your team. So funny.
That's hilarious. He's doing the job that is supposed to be like a fake job on the books for him to like for this stupid scam they're doing or whatever.
And I love how the show doesn't really like fully explain people's motives. You're kind of left to fill in that for your own understanding why Walter White created his old meth empire. That's one part of it. There's also like, why did Mike even do that? He was just like pissed off at home, like wanted something to do. What do you make of that? Is that just an old dude that's like restless, or does he have some ulterior motive? It's beautiful. So yeah, Breaking Bad, big fan. Was Breaking Bad based on me, Furret? It's kind of a deeper question,
Well, there was Vince in an interview. I think he took inspiration from something you said to Zigzagoon once. It was you said, "You are done," and then there was a part of Breaking Bad where Gus Fring says the same thing to Walter White, and I think that was actually it was based on that event. I would say.
No, I can't. As similarly to the way he writes, I can't claim to fully comprehend all of Vince's writing decisions. But between me and you, I think that's most likely.
I would confirm it here. I think it's confirmed.
Okay, thanks for the question. Who was that from?
That was from Comedy778.
Thank you, Comedy778.
Blues Energy left a comment. You know Blues Energy.
Oh, Blues Energy.
It's a simple
Yeah.
question. How does it feel to be the furret who made it to the little screen?
The little screen, is the fridge the little screen in this context?
Well, I've had a furret on my videos recently.
Oh yeah,
And
of course.
that's
Just
you.
below
You're
your
there.
face cam. I was thinking, yeah, the fridge is probably the big screen. If anything, some of these conversations have been pretty lengthy. How long was your conversation with Blues Energy?
It was about 2 hours. We got it
Yeah,
down.
exactly. That's movie length. He's an impressive guy. I remember when he was a ladder fiend, and you're a little channel with 2,000 or 3,000 subs. You and him had some
Less
epic
than
battles. Yeah, probably like 700 to be honest. You and him had some truly epic battles, and you being anonymous, you kind of had the position of power. I know you touched on this when you spoke to him.
Yeah, he did. He had no idea, but I
Yeah.
had a one-sided rivalry with him.
And maybe it went unspoken, but you didn't touch on the fact that he was pretty nasty in the text chat sometimes.
We did talk about that.
Oh,
We
you
talked
did?
a bit later on. Yeah,
I must
he
have
had
missed that part. But I just remember this line from one of your games where he was complaining and you had beaten him. You just said, "Gracious as always, Blues Energy."
gracious in defeat as always. I said.
Right. Okay.
He would get so upset when he lost. It was true.
Yeah, losing to some no-name.
But to be honest, I'm the real coward for not sticking with one name. I think it actually takes courage to just ladder on the same account and never use an alt, to be honest.
I agree. I mean, it's a bigger conversation, but when you're a top player, in any sort of niche game where you have some sort of name recognition, I feel like it can be so difficult to just queue up for a chill game because you kind of have a responsibility to win just in the form of reputation. Like I've been a top player in, some random games, but like I definitely understand the need to play under an alias just so you can chill out and like actually enjoy the game instead of being hyper focused and trying to win.
That's true. And I've done that myself. And sometimes when I'm queuing on the alts that people do know, there's an element of like, I got to be on my A game. Well, if this guy wins, he's gonna save the replay and show his friends. I beat
Exactly.
So
many times there's this game, Slapshot, I play. It's like a little ice hockey game, but I'm one of the top players in Oceania. If I ever make a mistake, then it's getting clipped. It's getting sent to the media channel. It's getting like 30 reactions. Everyone's going at Furret. What are you doing? This is
dude,
terrible.
Furret missed it. It's a hockey game. It's a funny game, folks. Slapshot.
Yeah.
I don't know why this guy plays it. It looks like a stupid game, but apparently it's like got some good mechanics or something. I don't know.
You know me. I drift around. Many talents, Furret.
You're a Pokemon of many talents. Absolutely. Yeah. You're a talented gamer in general. I feel like you've got a high chance of being good at like any random given game.
Yeah, a blessing and a curse. Like I don't really get into specific games that much. But when I do, I feel like an intense drive to get good at it quickly. If I don't, then it's dejecting to me.
And it's always some random game like Mountain Blade Warband or something you were really good at, like Slapshot, which is
fantastic
funny
game.
Circles playing hockey.
Yeah. My true love, and anyone who knows me will know, is a game called Tag Pro.
Yeah,
it kind of it exploded in about 2014 because Samox, the guy who made the Smash documentary, you might not know this, but he did an April Fool's video where he was like, I've finished making the documentary. I'm going to become a Tag Pro video maker instead. And he had like a mini Tag Pro montage of him making plays. And that gave a massive uptick to traffic coming in. And then a bit later, there was like I think they call it a brigade, but there was a concerted effort by the Tag Pro community to just go to like all the Reddit posts like, does anyone know any good Flash games, any good online games to play that are chill? And just be like, oh, there's this game Tag Pro I tried recently. It's really fun.
Some propaganda.
That worked really effectively.
If you guys don't know, Tag Pro is a crazy game. It's literally just a capture the flag game where you play as a circle and all you can do is move with the arrow keys. That's it.
Arrow keys.
It's a team game and you just got to capture the flag and bring it back to your base. But somehow it's like insanely technically nuanced where the way you move is there's like this momentum to it, the way you move, where you're sort of committed to the direction you're going. It's hard to explain.
It's a physics system, and it's so beautifully executed. It's such a simple game, but like the simplicity gives way to how complex it can be, once you figure out the engine.
It's
It's
very
really,
cool.
really well made.
I would like to make a video about it one day if I branch out from Pokemon, because I like interesting esports. Like, I think it's fascinating. Have you seen people playing like Sonic the Fighters and all these weird
Yeah.
esports? That's like some old Sonic arcade fighting game or something, or it's for the Sega Saturn or something like that. It looks ridiculous, but people play it for some reason.
I agree, man. Interesting esports it's such a world. Like if you go a level down from, CS:GO, League of Legends, Call of Duty, whatever, you get like these crazy games which like 30 guys have just been playing for 10 years and they're unbelievable at it. Like you look at the competitive scene for Quake, it's
Oh, Quake
stuff
is
you can't even
awesome.
comprehend it. Like the one-on-ones that you see on Quake is just crazy. I could never even get close to that, but you watch it and you're like, wow, this is dedication.
Yeah, check out some Quake Arena 1v1 to go crazy. That's the one, Quake Arena?
Yeah, Quake Arena. Beautiful stuff. It's a great question. I don't even know where we started, but
Me neither, I'm lost. I don't know what we're talking about. Probably
Check out
we were talking
Tag.
about Blues
Check out-
Energy and it pivoted to
Oh,
you
yeah.
playing tag, but yeah, Blues
We're
Energy.
talking about responsibility of playing under your name all the time. So no harm to Blues Energy. He's just a frustrated guy. Also a very talented, very cool guy. What was the
Now
question?
these days he's very the question was totally unrelated to any of this. It was just how does it feel to be the furret who made it? And it feels good,
Yeah.
I imagine. That's all.
It's pretty good, If I ever cry, I can cry myself. I mean, I can wipe my tears away with wads of cash. It's pretty good.
That's damn true. You make a lot of revenue as Furret. All the merchandise royalties go
Absolutely.
directly to you as Prime Furret.
Yeah. Any financial questions you can run past my accountant.
Is your accountant a Furret as well?
No, he's a Delphox.
Well, that's interesting. I don't know how that happened. Anyway.
Run that by my accountant.
Julie No Foolie asked, Furret, are you and Quagsire friends? Would you consider a collaboration?
Quagsire.
You know Quagsire,
What a
old fellow
guy.
Gen 2 Pokemon.
We go way back, me and Quagsire.
Wow.
Honestly, one of my favorite Pokemons. Not even purely by design, which is a really funny design, but just also the fact that it's somehow stayed relevant, having like the most average stats, over how many generations now? Like 9 generations.
Some things stand the test of time. Water ground typing, unaware. It does the trick.
Yeah. Another moment before Jim Cool was the big name he is now. BKC was doing a road to rank 1 in all gens from 1 to 5, and he didn't have much success with it, to be honest. I think he got pretty close in some of them, but he couldn't hold on to them.
It was quite a feat to attempt.
Oh yeah, look,
he did damn well considering.
Very impressive.
Every gen? No one plays every gen to that capacity.
Yeah, maybe McMegan. Anyway, Jim had a match against BKC in one of these videos. We only got BKC's perspective later, but Jim last Pokemon swept him with a belly drum Quagsire, and he got pretty upset about it.
I didn't get upset. He was just caught off guard.
No, BKC.
That's like talking back to the thing we were just talking about. Like BKC laddering on a known alt,
yeah,
and if he loses, people are gonna clip the replay and send it to all their friends.
Exactly.
So...
and it's the way it should be. You're good. You have to play well. But it can be exhausting. That's for sure. That's what
to be honest as well. Like he was playing multiple games at the same time, so he wasn't entirely focused. He was kind of on autopilot, and then he got caught off guard by a weird matchup.
Look,
and I made some play that was like, why would he do that? I think I roared in the face of a Machamp that could have killed me with my Tyranitar or something. And he was like, why would you do that? And then like it was just a weird game.
It's like you're watching the replay, like, why did I do that? That was really stupid.
I think I had to, or I just got swept or something.
Yeah.
So I just did it.
But yeah, I mean, like, BKC is one of the best players there is. Like, he lost the game, but that doesn't make him any worse.
Yeah, winning one game against someone in Pokemon just happens. It's like
I just remember his reaction because he was trying to guess your last Pokemon.
That was
it's got to be a Raikou. It's got to be a Raikou. And then the Quag comes out. He's like, Quagsire. So good. And then, big fan of Quagsire. And
I remember him saying like that makes sense because I boomed my Snorlax, and then he was like, "Oh, he doesn't have his Zapdos check, but I did have the Quagsire." So it was like, "Oh, okay, I see what he was going for now." Like he gave me some credit there, which I appreciated.
Yeah,
he was like, now his plays make sense because he had Quagsire in the back.
Quagsire. Great Pokemon. Being accounted a Zacian crowned as well. I think that's one of the funniest things ever. It's like the best Pokemon in the game. Anything goes, hyper threat. And in comes Quagsire from Gen 2 to shut it down. This has the perfect combination of everything.
We love to see it. And our Skeletor just kind of taken up that mantle. who beats
Oh,
like
really?
Zacian and Koraidon at the same time, and also like Arceus normal.
Yeah,
Because it's
true.
Fire Ghost with Unaware and with Wisp as well.
Wow. Skeleton is an awesome Pokemon. I'm kind of out of the game, you know. My
Well,
my
you're
generation
kind of a
Gen
boomer.
2.
You're back Gen 2.
Yeah.
That's ancient history at this point.
So as they've gone along, I feel like every game comes out within 2 months of each other. It's just too hard to keep up. But Skelly Dirge, that design sticks out. That's a really cool one.
I mean, even though you're an old head, like in Gen 9, you got some new. You got Tidy Up. A lot of people were asking, what do you
Yeah,
what do you think
it's
of your
just
new tool that you got?
it's just all about taking care of your body and mind, you know.
And
You- the tools will come along if you just maintain,
I think,
keep up your image.
yeah, a lot of people and Pokemon alike, when they reach maturity, realize that like you got to tidy up yourself. You got to keep the house clean, a tidy desk. 'Cause didn't Albert Einstein say some crap like that? Like,
I think you said, yeah, clean your room. That was an Albert Einstein quote.
or he said something like your mind, your desk status is a reflection of your mind. If you got papers everywhere, it means you got a scrambled mind. But if you're nice and neat and tidy up,
Absolutely.
you're all in order.
I actually agree with that so much. Like, to me, the cleanliness of my desk is paramount to everything I do at home. If I'm working or gaming out or
That's
whatever,
true.
I just put my mouse pad in the wash. It's like one of those big custom mouse pads. Looks pretty sick. It's got the cover for Yay on it. You know, the Mountain Range Kanye West album.
Oh yeah.
Pretty cool. I'll take a picture of it later. But yeah, dude, washing washing like your bed sheets and your mouse pad, cleaning your desk, your keyboard. That's crucial.
I got some dust on my monitor base right now. I should wipe that off. That's
Yeah, wipe
annoying me.
that shit off, man.
What's up with dust accumulating on things? That annoys me. Can you use tidy up?
I just simply click a button and it's gone, thankfully.
That's-
But other
that's-
people have to work a bit harder.
That's useful. Pantsless Rock asked, "What did you have for breakfast?" Some leaves.
Tomato and basil. I don't know. What does Furret eat for breakfast?
A
I guess,
lychee berry.
is the real question he's looking at. Yeah, I'd probably go for a lychee berry.
Is that
One of
what?
the
But did you? Is that what you ate? Or can you guys really subsist on berries alone? I mean, I feel like that's not enough for a balanced diet.
Checking what berries are in Gen 2. I had like a miracle berry. That was pretty good. I think there's gold berry. Is that right?
There's some berries. There's cherrim. I don't know.
Cherrim berry. That sounds real.
Do you like
Cherry
having
berry.
berries in like oats? I like to put berries in oats. I think
Oh
it tastes-
yeah,
Cranberries.
absolutely.
I feel like cranberries are underrepresented. That's a good
Bro,
berry.
cranberries go so hard. On the topic of yogurt, I always put cranberries in my yogurt. That's
beautiful.
a win. Absolutely.
You put some granola in there or something?
I put occasionally. That's called Birkin muesli. If you mix yogurt and oats or granola,
Mm-hmm.
that's really good stuff. Get on that if you're looking for a reliable breakfast. Birkin muesli's your friend. Furret's already got breakfast sorted out though. Gold berries restore 30 health. That's just like the citrus
Genius.
berry.
I've always wondered, what do lumberries taste like? Is it like medicine where they kind of taste terrible, but you got to cure your status ailment, so you got to deal with it, right?
You got to do what you got to do. Lumberries, they're not the nicest berry, but they sure are effective.
Yeah, it's better than being poisoned.
Absolutely. Miracle
How does it
berry.
feel when you get put to sleep and then you sort of consume a lumberry inadvertently, like
Well, it's like-
subconsciously, and then you back? Is it like a weird, like, whoa?
You
where
know
am
when
I?
you're when you're in a dream and you're trying to wake up, you just
Oh.
I don't know where I'm going with this, but you just have the berry and you're out of that funk.
So in the dream, you eat the berry. It's like a lucid dream.
In the dream, you will yourself to eat the berry, and then
Wow.
the body does as the mind directs. It's just about mind over
That's
matter.
a level of like mental fortitude that I don't know if many people can aspire to, let alone Pokemon.
Exactly.
So I got to give you credit for that one.
I like to follow the teachings of PPMD, my idol.
Very good. A wise sage.
Lies beyond my years.
Insert funny thing here asked, Furret, would you be available this Saturday 7 p.m. EST for a tennis match? What's your schedule?
Question. Saturday 7 p.m. Look, to be honest, I'm probably going to be out on the town around that time. That's a pretty booked out hour of my day, of my week. So sorry, man. Got to say no to tennis on this occasion.
Do you play tennis though? What do you think you'd win if you did go?
I dabble. I can use my skills like double edge, and I can use a focus sash to improve my tennis skills.
Yeah, true.
Save me from the point.
I mean, quick attack can sort of be like a quick attack with the tennis
Yeah, of
rackets.
course. I like to use that when I'm playing. I'm making volleys. I'm playing towards the
You
net.
could even hit them with a bit of a trick, like a tricky move, like
Ooh,
trick.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't know what's going on.
Tennis is pretty sick. I think the US Open recently started. That's probably why that's topical. We like to tune into the Australian Open over here I think it's in January usually.
I don't watch much tennis, but it's kind of like a 1v1. It's kind of like a fighting game of
Yeah,
of
dude, tennis is
sports.
cool. It honestly is just like Street Fighter in real life.
You know what I love is table tennis. It's
Oh
so
yeah,
awesome to
man.
watch. I don't know how those people do that.
Table tennis is probably the best sport to watch at the Olympics, in my opinion. It's like it's a totally different game to like the one you play casually with your friends. Like, you're just kind of like blocking and tapping it over. These guys are full swinging. It's just crazy.
It's very visually stimulating
Absolutely.
compared to other sports. Some sports can be like I acknowledge there's a lot of technical skill involved in many of these sports, but some of them can be a bit of a snooze to watch. But table tennis is high octane. They're really going crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can sort of understand like the mind games going on a little bit. It's pretty easy to understand what's going on intuitively, in my opinion.
Definitely. I mean, all it is just like some plastic rackets and a table.
They're just hitting
And the
it.
tables, it looks when they're playing and they're into it. If the table looks hilariously small, it's like how are they landing it in this tiny box every time when they're carving these huge swings through the air?
It takes
Then it just
expert
bang
precision. I
every
love the
time.
way that they serve. They sort of look at the ball right up in their face for a sec, and then they do this flick. You see where they do that?
Oh yeah,
It's
man.
very aesthetic. It's very cool.
Serve's beautiful. It's actually not. But definitely the best way to serve. If you ever play, just try to serve like the Olympians, and you'll be hitting
I
aces
haven't
like it's
played in
nothing.
years actually. But
You got to get on that, dude. It's a good time.
yeah, they're big table tennis fans in China because they got the best players in the
Oh
world.
yeah,
And there's just table tennis courts outside in China, and people are crazy as
really?
well. There's like
Wow,
old people just gaming table tennis. It's a pretty awesome actually.
that's a sick culture. Did you tune into the breakdancing at the Olympics?
Oh, there was. I heard about the Australian
Yeah,
thing.
just it
I
was
thought
like
it
a
was funny, honestly.
terrible weekend. Oh, me too, man. I know people were like upset about her being so bad, but I was just like, dude, who cares? She she
There
like
was
won a
something about how she
competition.
like weaseled her way in there, like on a technicality or something, like because breakdancing is there for the first time, so the rules are kind of dubious or something. And she's
Yeah,
just like, "Yeah, I'm the head of the Australian Breakdancing Associate," which like doesn't even exist. Like I don't even know what's going on, but
yeah.
she got in there on some technicality, and then
For those overseas viewers, this has been kind of a controversy over here since we were laughed at on the world stage. Adele was like talking about her at a concert. That was pretty funny.
right. And many people don't know that Furret is an Australian resident.
Of course,
Like
yeah.
you're a Johto native, but you migrated here.
Well, I use my surf ability
Yeah,
to
yeah.
holiday in Australia whenever possible.
How did you get your citizenship? What was the process like?
I don't. That's Great Wall related. I'm
Oh,
gonna
right.
pass
Oh,
on that.
that now your lore is starting to add up. I get what I think I pieced things together
Yeah, that was cool.
now. All right, let's see if we've got some questions from Twitter.
Oh wow, that was only YouTube.
That was YouTube. I mean, there was more on YouTube. Just want to mix things up a bit.
Cool.
Adam Morgan asked, "What skill would you max out first in old school RuneScape?" What do you think,
Oh,
Furret?
that's such a good question,
Fishing?
Adam. I've actually been playing old school RuneScape recently.
Many talents.
Myself and Jim Cool and our friend had a little competition to see who could get 99 in a skill first. His name is Noob Gamer, and he tried to get 99 in Magic, and Jim Cool, not knowing about XP rates and what you can efficiently max, chose fishing, which is like one of the hardest skills to get to 99 if you're just trying to
Yeah, I
do it as
was.
quickly as
That
possible.
is something that happened, folks, and I was met with a cold reality when I saw my friend just AoE attacking monkeys and getting them as much magic as possible, and I was just sitting there three-tick fishing some leaping sturgeons at a snail's pace, and
Yeah,
realizing I could never keep up in a million years. So I got to like 87 fishing or something crazy. I don't remember.
honestly, very impressive fishing
I
levels.
was a committed fisherman, and I learned all
Yeah.
the techniques to fish as fast as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And then
Me and Jim, we spent a little while on voice trying to figure out how to two-tick fish, swordfish.
yeah.
It just wasn't working. It turns out the bow
No, I
was
figured
on,
it out after a while. There's a rhythm
yeah,
to it.
but also your bow was on accurate instead of rapid, so it just was not working at all.
That's what
You
it was, I
remember that?
think.
Yeah, that was funny. Anyway, first skill I'd max. Well, if I'm making a fresh account, then it's efficient to max fire making first by doing winter tot, so you don't take damage from it. But if we're just talking personal preference, then I have to go with agility. It's a slow skill, but to me, it represents commitment. You max out agility, you're a guy who's put his heart and soul into this game.
That's a time-consuming task.
Oh, for
Jumping
sure.
over obstacle courses.
Yeah, styles, trampolines, hang gliders, etc.
That's a lot of physical labor. You'd know about all that with your...
Oh yeah, of course. I can use my tidy up ability and gain speed and attack.
How come tidying up gives you attack and speed? Like, why does that? Doesn't really make any sense to me.
Look, Mousehold taught me the technique. I can only direct you towards him for that one.
Fair enough. We'll have to get him on the show. No, he's too busy. He's a father.
Yeah, look, he's got a big family to take care of. You know, he's not on as much money as I am. He has to deal with population bombs pretty regularly.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, things are tough for Mousehold. You leave him alone, please.
Diamond Dude asked, "How does it feel to be the only Pokemon with a tier named after it?" Yeah, there's a tier called FurretUsed where you are the only legal Pokemon, and
What are the initials of that tier?
it's FU.
FU? Damn, FU too, dude. Yeah,
boy.
FurretUsed probably my favorite tier because Furret actually sees some usage in that tier. We had a great match in FU recently. It was kind of innovative, if you ask me. Definitely check that out if you haven't watched it yet. But yeah, I'm totally honored. Having a tier named after me is, I mean, it's what can you say?
What do you think the meta moving forward will be after the Chilling Water discovery and the Terra Ghost counterplay of Shadow Claw?
I mean, chilling water is a great move, but Jim and I just discovered that Furret learns power up punch, which it could be huge for the meta.
That's a genius discovery.
And that's a counter to chilling
super
water
effective,
right
and
there.
you gain the attack that Chilling Water would cancel out. Have any Furrets thought of that before? I don't think so.
That's Furrent thus far.
Oh, Furret.
Not quite, not yet.
This goes so deep, folks. I
never
never imagined. He was referring to FurretUsed, folks. He was not saying FU to the fans.
No, yeah,
that would be
what did you think I was saying?
That would be uncouth.
Of course. Furret is quite couth.
We've got a lot of questions about your walking. You've been known to walk for long distances and never stop. And many people have been wondering why and where are you going and for what purpose are you walking?
Such is the nature of internet memes, you know. You can just like be out walking one day, some guy takes a 2-second video of you. The next thing you know, it's all over the internet. It spreads like wildfire.
That's
you know.
how it goes.
I didn't have any say in this. I couldn't say, can you take that down, please? It's everywhere. It's endemic.
You were walking for your own purpose. It wasn't for any clout or whatever.
I was walking for none of your business, to be honest. And yet here I am on the world stage against my will. It's a quick moving
I didn't
beast.
realize you feel like that. Did you not want to? Did you want to leave them, Furret? Did you want to run away, so to speak?
It would have been nice to just be looped in. You know, hey, I'm going to publish this funny video, man.
I can see where you're coming from.
No problem.
That's your image posted everywhere in a way that maybe you don't agree with.
It really wasn't helpful for the covert act. Sorry, my Great War activities will not be discussed. Almost forgot.
But where were you going though?
None of your business, man.
Were you perhaps going to the corner store?
I was running away.
Well, wherever you were going, I'm sure we all respect that the consistency of the sheer quantity of walking you were doing was unprecedented at the time. It's what really put you on the map in many people's eyes. So I think that maybe you shouldn't be so like nasty to people who enjoy like your walking, because that's where big source of your revenue at the moment.
Yeah, look, okay.
From the royalties of the walking concept.
Heavy is the head who wears the crown, I suppose.
Isn't that just ring true every year that goes by?
Rings truer and truer.
SSBM Gamer asked, Furret, why does your shiny look like a candy cane? Yeah, you got a shiny form that's pink colored, reminiscent of a candied treat.
I am not a shiny Furret myself. I have seen a few shiny Furrets in my time, and I asked them the same thing. I wasn't able to get a straight answer out of them. I assume they're some sort of like weirdos.
They are the odd ones out in many ways.
To me, it's an okay design though, personally.
What do you think of people shiny hunting? Like consistently looking for Furrets only to just leave if they're not shiny. It's a bit rude to all the non-shiny Furrets, wouldn't you agree?
I think shiny hunting is really cool. Like it's such a commitment, you know. Even if you're just going for one guy, you could be there for 10 plus hours just resetting. So it's a very impressive task. I don't know if you've kept up with the with 40 Cakes YouTube channel, but he's doing something called a Professor Oak challenge, but all shiny Pokemon. He's got a bot that's been running since the start of 2023. And the other day, it just finished Route 102, which was like over a year and a half of shiny hunting. Because
a year and a half, my gosh.
Yeah, because he was just trying to get 2 Seedots, one for Seedot, one for Nuzleaf, so that he could do the first gym. Like over a year straight of just hunting for one shiny.
As if it takes that long.
Well, Seedot's a 1% encounter rate, and then a shiny's 1 in 9,000 or whatever. So it ends up being like a 1 in 900.
As if you can beat the gym with like Zigzagoon or something, right?
Oh, dude, he can beat the gym with whatever he wants. But the idea of this Professor Oak challenge is you have to get every Pokemon possible before progressing in the game.
Oh, I see.
So doing a shiny one of that is just like pure masochism.
This is like a decades-long feat, then.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's gonna be.
It's It's a pretty sick series. Check out 40 Cakes on YouTube if you haven't. The live stream's running all hours of the day.
And that's for Gen 3, I assume. So Shiny Furret probably won't be involved. But
Furret won't be involved, but I'm cheering on my colleagues.
how do you feel about the Zigzagoon on there?
That's already been covered, so I'm just happy to see the back of him. To be honest, he's going to while away in the PC for the remainder of his days. Thankfully,
as he should.
Of course.
Linoon gets all the glory, while you've been left by the wayside for years.
I wish Furret learned belly drum. That's all.
As if they gave him extreme speed and not you.
I know. I'm clearly much faster than Linoon. He looks like a slug.
You're more determined. You got more heart.
Absolutely. I should get Take Heart, in fact. I have that much heart.
That would be thematically appropriate, yeah.
Tidy up's acceptable, though.
Eggman asked, Furret, what is your skincare routine? I must know.
Wow. Big question.
I don't have a skincare routine personally. I just sort of wash my face. That's about it.
You're a lucky guy. I've got eczema, asthma, and hay fever, so my skincare routine is pretty thorough.
Well,
I won't get much into it, but it involves a lot of very neutral moisturizer and eczema cream. But
not a lot of people would have realized that about you.
Yeah, Furret beneath that fur, you never know what's going on. But yeah, Furret's skin requires a lot of delicate care.
Maybe you could post like a guide to your skincare routine on your channel. I'm sure there'd be some interest there.
My condition is almost unique. I don't know if that would help many people.
If you could choose between a choice scarf or a choice band, which would you choose? That's from Hochi Pro.
Wow. Being a Gen 3 player from way back, I'm choice band all the way, but for the modern gens, choice scarf for sure.
You can trick
I love the choice items. Yeah, choice scarf gives you a few more avenues in tricking because you're usually tricking to a defensive target. So
indeed,
the scarf makes more sense because they can't really use the speed. I love the choice items. I reckon they have such an impact on the meta, and it's been really positive, especially banned in Gen 3. Just acting as a wall breaker because Gen 2 can be quite slow and methodical in its approach.
It's nice having some immediate power at a cost.
Yes.
I think it's good game design as well. It's easy to exploit and take advantage of, but it's a beautiful option to have access to.
One of my favorite interactions for the band is when Metagross locks into Meteor Mash and then Magneton comes in.
Yes, brilliant.
And even beyond that, you've got Magnetons which get endure HP Grass. So if Dugtrio locks into Earthquake, you can endure, get a Select Berry boost, HP Grass it, kill it. If a Blissey comes in, you can Screech, then the Blissey KOs you, you go to your own Dug and Earthquake the Blissey.
It's brilliant. It's like clockwork.
Yeah.
It's a cascade. I'm not huge on Endure Magneton though. I feel like it's pretty easy to play around. It really actually does stuff.
It's a stupid set, let's be honest, but it's pretty cool. I like that it's possible. Choice band makes that possible. You need choice band on the meta. You need choice bands on the Dugtrios. So choice items, really cool.
Slough asked, Furret, big fan of your work. What Pokemon do you have the friendliest and unfriendliest relationship with?
Thank you, Slough. Unfriendliest, got to be Zigzagoon. That guy's a real piece of work. Linoon, by extension, he's got his own problems, but I steer clear from him when possible. Friendliest, Delphox and I have a good relationship, being someone on my payroll, my accountant.
I think Delphox a bit too humanoid for you as like a more animalistic creature.
Good
Delphox
people
like standing
people,
upright.
Man. You can find friends in all areas of the world.
That's true.
And Furret's Sprite in early gens is standing up, so no problem there. What can you find on Route 1? Let me look this up.
Wurmple? Well, that's Gen 3.
No, that's Gen 3. He's Zigzagoon's
Yeah, Hoot
friend.
is probably your
Hoot
childhood friend, right?
He's a cool guy. Noctowl, nice fellow. We've got Raticate. He's a good fellow. Spent a lot of time with him, just finding worms and shit in the tall grass, doing rodent
like
stuff.
Caterpies, you mean?
Oh yeah, some Caterpies are.
Guess you weren't friendly with them. They were your prey.
I mean, all Pokemon exist in harmony, but any creatures that aren't Pokemon, they're fair game.
Indeed.
It's funny you don't see non-Pokemon in the Pokemon world. Like these 600, or it's like over 1,000 now, but all these species, that's it. That's the whole fauna. There's no other animals in the world.
There's no like little mosquitoes or...
Yeah,
Not a very diverse world.
There's no flies. Oh, there's probably a fly Pokemon that I'm not thinking
There's like
of.
a Venonat, I guess. There's like flyish.
Yeah. That's like a huge guy.
He's got a fly's head. He's kind of freaky.
True.
He's got a good sprite. Have you seen his sprite? He's got a clenched fist. He looks very determined.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of his back sprite in Gen 3.
I'm a big fan of him too.
I discovered to no intent of my own that he has a niche over Venomoth because I think, what is he, like faster and he gets like sleep powdered, he select down or something? I don't even remember.
Really?
Wait, Venomoth is a whole different guy. What am I talking about?
Venomoth is his evolution.
I think
right?
that's wrong.
No, because
Well,
no,
no,
that's
no,
not
no.
wrong.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
correct.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know if this is confirmed, but it always confused me that Butterfree and Venonat look like exactly the same.
They
like
switched it in
thematically.
development or something
Yeah,
happened.
is that true? Because that would make so much sense. You look at the design for it's Caterpie and Venomoth who look the same, and then Venonat and Butterfree look the same as well. So they just screwed that up, I guess.
Something happened. They could cross the wires.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, how
alright
many
though.
wires are crossed in Gen 1? Not much
You-
testing occurred there, folks.
You were a Gen 2 debut, so you don't know about
Yeah.
all that. There was quite a...
Yeah,
It was
I dodged out on that.
somewhat traumatic existing in Gen 1 for some of these Pokemon. It was
Absolutely.
a dark time.
Thankfully, I
Like-
don't have many interactions with my Gen 1 neighbors, but I can hear the howls of anguish over from Kanto.
You see a Muse back sprite in Gen 1? It's hideous. It looks like a scallop. It doesn't look like anything.
Oh yeah, you rated all the back sprites recently.
In
didn't you?
Gen 3 I did. I might do Gen 1, and Gen 1 it's rough. Most of
left
them
the comment.
just look like nothing.
I left the comment on that being like, this is a colossal waste of time.
You didn't watch it all?
I watched like 3 or 4 of them. I was like, this is terrible. I'm
What do you
getting
mean?
out
It's good.
of here. I mean, it's funny, you know.
I had the idea, and then I sort of underestimated how long it would take. The amount of sprites were like...
Yeah, how long was did the video end up being?
It's a long video. I can't even remember. It was all a
Like,
blur.
definitely like over an hour at least.
That was a weird day, sitting there for hours talking about it. And then there was one I didn't recognize. I found out it was Celio.
Oh,
the back
yeah,
sprite
I
is like
saw
a
that on
beanbag
Twitter.
with wings on it. It looks like nothing. It's Celio.
I recognized it instantly, being a Emerald cartridge player. But I can understand how you wouldn't know it. That's a good Pokemon. That evolves into Walrein. Bit of a legend.
I had the idea of like, what if I showed some of these to my nonna and see if she could identify what it is? Like Piloswine, would she say that's like a potato? Like, would she know what that is?
Very potato.
Like, no, that's
Yeah.
actually a mammoth from behind. Sorry.
That concept is one of the great videos where Dan Giesling is trying to name all the Pokemon from their sprites,
That's hilarious.
and his guesses are just atrocious.
Chet Lemon.
Chet Lemon came up like 30 times. Gotta check that one out.
What have you been doing recently, Furret? Like, sort of enjoying time in the
Is that a
wild,
question
or
from the viewers?
that's just a question from me? I'm just curious about you.
Oh, yeah.
What
Fair
you
enough.
going on? What's going on with you?
Well, today was Father's Day. I had a lunch with my father. That's an Australian holiday. I don't know if it's celebrated around the world.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, had a good time. I got Dad a present from the bear. Have you seen the bear yet?
I haven't. People keep telling me it's good,
Yeah, it's so good.
but it sounds boring. It doesn't sound like anything.
Yeah, it just sounds like a cooking show, right? But I mean, it's all about relationships, like any good show. So really interesting. I got him a sign that says "Every second counts," which would make sense to you if you saw the show.
Well, makes sense to me in general. It's just true.
Yeah, it's true. But the origin story of it is pretty cool. Definitely check that show out if you haven't seen it. The bear is fantastic.
I got to check it out. People keep telling me. I fear I'm going to fall behind the cultural conversation if I don't.
Yeah, the 3rd season was just released like a few weeks ago. So,
Well, there you go. I've been watching like anime and stuff instead, like an idiot.
oh, you buffoon for that.
Well, the show Vinland Saga is damn good. I would recommend that to you, Furret. It's an
Yeah,
anime
okay.
about Vikings. It's damn good.
Controversially, Furret's not a big anime watcher, but
Look,
I'll note that one down.
understandable. A lot of anime is weirdo stuff, but I think this is like just a good show in general.
I feel like maybe it's the connection to the animated series, but like Pokemon and anime just seem to go hand in hand. It's like if you're a Pokemon player, then yeah, you're also a big anime fan, obviously.
Well, many
It's funny how that works.
Pokemon gamers grew up watching the television show.
Yeah.
It's a rare example of a franchise just absolutely nailing it with their
Oh, yeah,
marketing.
totally.
Where your whole life is just Pokemon when you're a kid. You got the game, you got the merch, you got the show. There's a movie, there's the card
you got, like-
game. They were in every avenue.
It was pretty sick. It's kind of everywhere. Very impressive franchise.
Nuts that it's the #1 media franchise on the planet, even outranking
that
like
true?
Star Wars and like
Still,
Mickey Mouse.
I
Like,
feel like Pokemon has fallen off a cliff last little while.
no, it's bigger than ever, dude.
Wow, maybe just not the games.
Well, it's the whole empire. Like,
The
I think
Pokemon Empire.
I think most of it comes from merch. Like most of that
Yeah,
revenue.
okay. Pokemon merch is pretty cool.
It's
You can get like soft toys.
the most
and such.
successful merch ever because there's just infinite characters to create.
Well, there's about 1,000 possibilities. They've finished Pokemon. There's no more coming out.
Well, that's the damn thing is that actually They're
What's the
consistently
last
putting out
Pokemon?
more.
What's the last Pokemon in the Pokédex?
I
The
don't
one
know.
you as
Iron
a Pokemon
Jugulanium?
guy. It's Pekarunt. Whatever
Pecharunt?
that is. Pecharunt. Thank you.
That's like a new mythical guy that
Ah.
came out in
Oh, it's like Terrapagos. Hey, that's a cool name. Terrapagos. That's like
Terrapagos.
a turtle, and it's from the Galapagos Islands. That's awesome.
It is a good name and a good
Yeah.
visual design.
Sometimes they're very clever with their names. Sometimes you get guys like Iron Jugulus, but
What do you mean? Iron Jugulus is a beloved one.
I guess there is value in a name like Iron Jugulus because that created Iron Mugulus, which is your whole brand.
Well, Iron Jugulus actually outranked Charizard as the number 2 Pokemon behind you in the polls. Like it's Furret, Iron Jugulus, and then Pikachu.
Yeah.
At the moment.
These are the Pokemon that really represent the people. I'm happy to take that mantle.
From Chicken Taco, Furret, what are your opinions on the Route 1 normal type Skwovet?
Skwovet?
Yes, Skwovet is a little
I've
squirrel,
no idea what that is.
and he evolves into Greedent.
Oh, Greedent.
Greedent, you guys have met.
Yeah.
You didn't know him as a Skwovet.
I've never met his children, but me and Greedent, we're acquaintances for sure. Greedent's a cool Pokemon. I used to play Balanced Hackmons in like Gen 7. I kind of gave it away after that because I couldn't keep up with all the new Pokemon, but Greedent disowned me once. I think it was like a top ladder player who was just using his favorites, and he pulled out a Greedent team that was like just so brutal, and I simply got crushed by this.
What was the
Greedent,
Greedent doing? A Magic Guard Greedent or something?
Oh, what was it? No, you can't run Magic Guard in Balanced Hackmons.
Oh yeah,
unfortunately. I think it was Magic Bounce, and it was just like shore up stall kind of guy. And I couldn't land a hit on him because all of my threats used or maybe it was thick fat, I can't remember, but it was tanky as anyway. I just couldn't ever get a hit on it.
That's impressive work from Greedent. You're not a Pokemon you would expect to pull his weight among the legendary Pokemon, but
amongst the field of guys like Regigigas and Slaking, as you've mentioned, maybe Regigigas.
A lot of those Pokemon, they don't understand like the Route 1 experience. They haven't been in the thick of it, like down in the trenches with you guys, where
new trainers. You're the one who's got to get trashed by like a level 5 Empoli. What are they called?
Prinplup.
Mudkip. Prinplup. Thank you. Piplup. Prinplup. I think that's the second.
That's the second one, and he's going to defeat you easily.
Oh, it's no contest.
Did you ever get defeated by some Quillarvi or something?
Just Quillarvi. Back when I was a Centret, that was a day-to-day operation. But
bloody hell,
every now and then you get a chance to battle against an equally skilled Pokemon, and you can actually improve. So every Furret has been through the tough times.
Every Furret has its day, they say.
Every Route 1 guy has done those yards.
And the more privileged Pokemon, like the Ferrothorn and those people, they wouldn't get it.
Oh, they wouldn't get it. Ferroseed, get out of here. Carried by Type.
You had a run-in with Ferroseed once, and the Ferroseed was a bit egotistical and a bit like looking down on like what you've done.
I don't like to besmirch my fellow Pokemon, but now that you've brought it up, he's just not a nice guy.
Very controversial Pokemon for many reasons, but to be rude to the up and coming Centret who would take the world by storm, not 3 years later, was certainly
a decision. Bad matchup too.
Yeah, what do you do? Well, you learned Flamethrower, I think, actually.
I got Fire Punch. I think that's a new thing.
But
you
got to work hard to access that, or you got to go to the game corner, which the game corner is not very accommodating to people like you. Or to Pokemon, sorry.
I've just had a look at my moveset in Gen 2. I think it's pretty much just Reversal and Dynamic Punch. That's about it.
Ah, yes.
Oh no, sorry. I take it all back. There's Fire Punch, a special move. That's doing peanuts.
Well, it's honest work.
Yeah, all in a day. Us normal types make do.
Of course. So what are your plans for Gen 10, Furret? Are you thinking like you'll make a comeback?
Yeah, maybe I'll pick up some new move tutor moves. I'll get like Rollout or something. That'll be totally useful.
Doesn't sound very useful, I'll be honest.
What would make Furret relevant? One move.
Well, Tidy Up is a pretty big one. It's just ZU.
Hasn't done much. I mean, Extreme Speed would probably be near top of the list.
I mean, Furret stats, you need something crazy like Magic Guard, like the Population Bomb. I don't know, something.
Population Bomb would be pretty good. Maybe like a fighting type Population Bomb.
That would be good.
That would be really good in FU.
We might have to ban that from FU. If that came out, because that would just one hit every Furret.
Absolutely.
So, something about you that people might not know is that you're a bit of like a cinema connoisseur, like you famously...
It's all coming out.
You're a famous fan of like such films as The Godfather and all the classics.
Oh yeah, all the IMDb top 5, they're my favorite films, coincidentally.
And we talked about how Breaking Bad was inspired partially by your life. Do you ever feel a connection with some of the films you've watched, like The Godfather or Apocalypse Now, that sort of remind you of darker times?
All the classics, Gee, what's a good one? I feel a deep connection to the titular Remy from Ratatouille.
Right,
A
a
fellow,
similar up
fellow
and coming
Ronin.
story, yeah.
Yeah, a guy who just had to do it tough, Food is fuel, that sort of thing. But eventually you discover the finer things in life, You can evolve into a superior being like myself, evolving from Centret, a formulative experience.
It's
And
a wonderful film, and it's got such a great message about, I love when they said that a great artist can come from anywhere. Even a little rat can change the world.
a rat. Ratatouille is such a classic. That's like the best animated movie, I reckon.
It's up there. It's up there.
So, yeah.
Genuinely.
I recently went through all my favorites. I decided my absolute favorite movie is Silence of the Lambs.
Good choice, Furret.
Number one.
Good choice, Furret. Yeah. I hope you don't feel any kinship with Hannibal Lecter at all.
No way. That guy's a demon.
He's more of the Zigzagoon of the story. You're more of the Clarice.
Yeah, Clarice. What's your favorite film?
I got a pretentious answer. My favorite
one.
film is Barry Lyndon. Have you seen it?
Barry Lyndon. I know the name. I haven't seen it.
It's a 3-hour historical epic by Stanley Kubrick.
Wow. Okay, that is pretentious.
But it's like way more entertaining than it sounds. It sounds like a complete snooze fest, but I just think it's a masterpiece in every aspect. It's got the best cinematography I've ever seen in my life. Every shot is like a painting, and there's some real meat to what's going on. It's like parodying the time period and how ridiculous it was. It's really funny at points, but also really like believable and human. The main character's hilarious, and also like tragic, but also terrible.
Yeah.
I would really recommend it.
I mean, Kubrick is a master. So yeah, maybe I'll check that one out. I recently saw Inside Out and Inside Out 2 for the first time. Those were classics for sure. I think the first one was a bit better, but the second one was really good too.
Every time I watch a Pixar sequel, I leave thinking like that was pretty good, but then later down the line I forget what the hell happened in it. Like Incredibles 2, when that came out, I was like, yeah, I enjoyed that, and then I couldn't tell you what occurred.
Yeah,
There's like some woman who could teleport.
I remember that. Incredibles 2. I barely remember what happened in that. That was a pretty average one, to be honest. Incredibles 1 is such a classic that it's hard to compete with, but Incredibles 2, yeah, that left me wanting. I feel like that's a phenomenon, you come out of a movie and like when it's all fresh in your mind, you're like, that was amazing. And then you give it a couple of days, you're like, oh yeah, it was okay. Like
I felt that as well with like Finding Dory. I thought that was like pretty okay, and then I just can't remember anything about it.
I never watched Finding Dory.
There's like an octopus and they're escaping from the aquarium. It's pretty fun, I guess, but Finding Nemo is so much more memorable.
I'll tell you a great movie I saw recently, Thelma and Louise. That was really good.
I haven't seen it. I think I've heard of it.
Good story. It's a bit corny and like cheesy at times and obvious. Like it's a Ridley Scott movie about women, so there's going to be an element of that. But it was a great story.
Ridley Scott's one of the weirdest directors. He's got some of the greatest masterpieces in history, but also some complete garbage.
Yeah, I feel like it's total chance whether or not his movies actually end up good.
Yeah,
pretty funny. Also, Dune Part 2. That's one of my all-time favorites. That was just so amazing.
Very good. Yeah, I've been reflecting on it recently because I've read the books. I think the movies might be better pieces of media than the books. It was controversial to say. I think it might actually be true. The books, I love them, but they're like bizarre and very difficult to follow, to be honest.
I don't think that's controversial at all. I think that's pretty well respected.
Well, because they're considered such classics of literature, and the movies do cut a lot of stuff that it's kind of important detail, but I think those books get too crazy. Like there's too much.
Which ones have you read?
I've read
the whole series
up to God Emperor of Dude, and then the next one I'm just kind of done. It's okay.
God Emperor is the 4th book.
Yes.
After Children of Dune. Yeah.
I think the first 2 books are really good actually, but after that it goes too far. In my opinion.
A little bit of perusing on the Dune wiki and just kind of read the lore a bit because I mean I probably will read Dune at some stage, but I like the the plot of God Emperor. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Because I feel like he did not lean into the cooler parts of the world building as much, and he went like with his own crazy ideas, and it just went too far. That's just my opinion. Because the concept of the Bene Gesserit and this ancient plan stretching back centuries is awesome.
That's
and
that's an incredible story.
The great houses being like sci-fi, but it's like feudalism again. Awesome.
I do like the idea he went with of just like having a whole bunch of Duncan Idahos over and
Yeah,
over.
I don't know what he was doing with that. I think it's literally because Duncan Idaho was like a really popular character in the
Yeah.
first book. Kind of like a Boba Fett situation where like he was just sort of, he was more integral to the plot than Boba Fett, but he became a
That's
fan
funny.
favorite. So he was like, all right, let's resurrect this dude.
Who was it? It was Jason Momoa, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read a story. I read
That
on the
was a
wiki
spoiler, by the way, that he gets whatever.
yeah, who cares, dude? This shit's been out for 40 years. I read that he like received a letter from a fan who was really upset that Duncan Idaho had died, so he just resurrected him.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It's pretty funny, but yeah, unbelievable story and amazing world.
And yeah, after reading the book, I think they did some perfect like performances matching the vibe of, especially Javier Bardem as Stilgar was the standout to me. He was perfect.
Oh yeah,
But he was,
He's
yeah. I think
a great actor.
he was like the most compelling character in the books. Like it's a spoiler to say, whereas he's the most interesting character arc that was actually interesting to follow, that didn't get too crazy, in my opinion. In the third book, especially. But yeah,
I love the whole Harkonnen house element of the story too.
that whole scene in the big Colosseum was crazy. Everything's in black and white. That was such a good choice.
Fade Ratha, great character as well. Who plays him? It's Austin Butler.
Austin Butler, yeah.
He's great. He's up and coming. He's cool. Yeah, Dune 2.
It was good. And it's cool to see a movie like that like succeed so much. Because the same director made like Blade Runner 2049 and some other interesting sci-fi stuff, and they kind of flopped, but Dune is going crazy.
It's not often that sci-fi permeates the culture to such an extent as has happened in this case. Really cool.
Agreed.
Kind of a casual sci-fi fan, but you know, my family's into sci-fi. I have a respect for sci-fi, maybe would be the best way to put it.
Came out at a good time where people are kind of sick of Star Wars too. Like Dune is way more exciting than whatever good's going on with Star Wars.
I watched all the old Star Wars. I watched 4, 5, 6. I love them. I watched the prequels too. I watched The Force Awakens, and then I was just like, yeah, okay, I'll probably leave it there.
That was weird. I remember when The Force Awakens came out, everyone loved it actually, and it was like this. Everyone was like, "Star Wars is back. This is incredible." And then
it just fell away. Maybe there's that recency bias thing again. Like you come out of a movie, you're like, what? That was unreal. And then you give it a little bit to stew on. You're like, yeah, I'm not really that excited about it, to be honest.
And The Last Jedi was like all right, but kind of weird. Like, it's probably the best of the new ones, but still like not as good as the old ones. That's probably a pretty tame opinion. And I didn't even see episode 9. I've heard universally that it sucked. But
I kind of want to watch it just to close out the story for myself, but
I'm
curious. I'll be disappointed, so I'll probably leave it alone.
But somehow Palpatine returned is crazy. I think I've heard that quote.
No surprise.
Did you ever watch Andor? That was actually really good. The miniseries.
Was that one of the like half? Oh, that was the TV series.
Yeah.
No, I never saw that one.
That was actually great.
Really?
In my opinion.
Oh, that's got Andy Serkis. Oh, dude.
He was really good in it.
Sounds cool. Maybe I'll check that out.
I've
got a Disney Plus. I needed a Disney Plus to watch The Bear. So.
Oh yeah, check that out.
I'll look into.
It's like the only good Star Wars thing at ages. I don't know why, but they just gave him some actual creative liberty or something.
It'll just be whoever directed and wrote it. I mean, that's all right.
But there's some real meat to it, like some good world building and like some interesting ideas.
Yeah, okay.
It's when the Empire was still in power, and so like the rebellion first rose up, but it's just average people. There's no Jedis or anything.
Yeah, look, I'll use my surf ability to get to a cinema near me. Check that out.
Indeed.
Any other questions from the viewers?
Oh, the viewers are vast in their different qualms and queries and quotations. I could scarcely contain.
Oh, me either. I'm incredibly excited.
Someone just simply said Furret. That was Flame2055. Thank you.
That's a great question. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Tiki Momo. Mr. Furret, big fan. I have your plush. What are your thoughts on becoming the next Pokemon to Mega Evolve without a stone? Should the power be taken from Rayquaza and given to you? Mega Furret with no stone required? That would be great. I think I'd support that in full force.
Mega Furret. Yeah, I would definitely make use of Mega Furret in like a balanced Hackmons format or something like that.
What do you think you would get on a Mega Furret?
Mega Furret? Well, it's plus 100 stats, right, for a Mega. And you can take away stats and then change them to different Stat lines.
Min-max into attack and speed.
Just give me all attack, man. Give me extreme speed and just give me all attack.
That's what
100
we
attack.
want, exactly. Adaptability.
Yep. Adaptability is a great ability. I'll take that one. That's pretty good.
And
Furret-
normal ghost typing, maybe?
Oh, dude, stop it. You're getting me excited. Furret would jump straight into OU with that one.
What about the visual design? Every mega seems to have spikes on it, so just a very
it's
spiky
like-
Furret.
So spiky and like an angry face and give me some muscles. That's creative, right?
I don't know if... I mean, you're kind of known for your iconic slender and smooth body, so I don't know if that...
No. Megas are big and tough, so you got to give me some more
Right.
strength. There's some stupid mega designs.
Mega
There's some
Tyranitar,
cool
what
ones.
if they made him even spikier?
I really like Mega Glalie. That's awesome.
That's a good one, yes. They did
Yeah,
some cool megas. Like, people complain that they didn't do megas for, like, underappreciated Pokemon, but they did. Like Mega Glalie
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Mega
Altaria.
Altaria. Yeah,
That's an awesome one. Ampharos.
exactly.
That didn't really-
Ampharos is underappreciated. No one would have
No.
expected that, but they gave him a mega. We love
Camera
to see it.
That's a really cool mega actually. Camera up like an erupting volcano.
I do love Mega Camera-ups.
Yeah.
Classic one.
There's some stupid ones like Ordino Mega is just like it's white instead and got bigger ears. What are we doing here? You know.
Loses
Morwell.
Regenerator too. It's not even good.
Mega Morwell need some more spikes, please. Mega Glade, spikes up.
Mega Scizor. What if I was larger?
Yeah. What if I was large and looked kind of like a robot? That's a good one.
I actually hate Mega Scizor the most. I feel like it's the most boring and also like the best one that it's just on every team.
I think I'm with you. I not only do I hate Mega Sizzle's design, I also hate how it plays. It's so
It's just
frustrating.
Scizor with more stats. It has the same ability. It has
Yeah, they,
Technician
like,
and the same typing.
Increase its attack, made it really strong, and also just made it super bulky. It's like, oh, that's fun to play against.
And
Thanks,
Scizor
guys.
used to have like item variety, like Scarf, Band, Leftovers,
Yeah.
or Life Orb, Berries. Like you could mix and match, but now it's just you run the Mega Stone. There's no
Scizor
item
had
variety.
nuance.
Yeah.
What happened, guys? Did we forget
Mega
about
Furret
nuance?
would have nuance. No, we'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mega Furret would.
And Mega Furret would have no nuance. That thing just clicks extreme speed.
Well, there's some Megas that are just like a garbage Pokemon that becomes good now, so that's okay. Like Lopunny,
Yeah, Mega Lopunny. That
you'd be
shit's
sort of in
crazy.
the Mega Lopunny camp.
Mega Metagross, Mega Mewtwo, Mega Rayquaza, obviously. Mega Sableye. Like, even though that's a BS Pokemon, that's awesome design.
I do like
That's
that he has
really
a bigger gem. That's fun.
Yeah.
I like when they incorporate objects into the like Alakazam as a spoon, Kangaskhan as a child.
That's a cool design, Kangaskhan. The kid's grown up.
I was actually very impressed when I was doing the back sprites. I got to Kangaskhan and I noticed that he's kind of doing like a dad thing or a mum, sorry, where he's holding the little child over his shoulder, her shoulder.
really?
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I can see that. That's so cool. Oh, I've just seen the back sprite. It looks so good. It's just like a little hug with the kid. That's a special moment.
I gave that an S+ rank.
Yeah, for sure. Was Kangaskhan number 1? What were the other?
Well, there was
Top
just
guy.
an S+. They were all equal, and you were up there. You got a great sprite in
Oh,
Gen 3
thank you.
with your whole body's visible, which is hard to do because you're quite long, and
Yeah.
you're sort of looking up with a lot of personality in your artistic depiction. I thought.
Thank you.
Have you ever been to those? You probably have those like parks where you can hang out with the kangaroos and feed them.
Yeah, like what do we call them? Wildlife sanctuaries.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not really zoos. They're just kind of like open expanses where there's animals chilling out.
They call it the zoos.
You know, I feel like around the world, kangaroos have this kind of mysticism, but like over here, I don't think people realize how many kangaroos there are. You leave the city, they're bloody everywhere.
That's true.
It's crazy.
It's
You
damn
go to
true.
like any footy oval in the outer suburbs, there's like kangaroo turds everywhere. They've been snacking on grass in the vicinity.
We have a silly country.
Absolutely.
It's like
It's
a comedic joke of a country. I suppose we take it in stride as we have to. But there's just ridiculous jumping beasts everywhere. Like koalas just
I mean,
existed
weird
against
to
all
some.
odds.
Koalas are awesome. Hey,
They're
it makes no
fantastic.
sense that they're alive. They eat like the least nutritious.
That's an
leaves all
underdog
day.
story. That's beautiful.
They're kind of like pandas.
They are
just eat,
similar.
like leaves, and they just sleep in trees.
And they're
That's their
cute and
whole life.
iconic, and humans are doing their best to keep them alive.
Yeah, they are cute, but they also just like could tear you to pieces if they
It's
got
true.
scared. They got crazy
I saw some
claws on them.
pandas in China.
Pandas are awesome.
They got a lot of personality. They're always doing some interesting stuff. Or like falling over and like eating bamboo,
Chilling out,
like-
eating bamboo, whatever.
socializing with the other pandas.
Panda things. There's that great video of a panda sneezing. That's like a
Yeah,
really
it's
classic.
a classic video. That's
Yeah, the baby
timeless.
sneezes and the parents like, oh, brilliant.
Big, funny, goofy animals.
Yeah, that'd be a cool one to see, a panda.
There's this famous panda in China called Hua Hua, who's like
Wah.
got some like developmental disorder or something, so she's a bit small.
Oh,
And when
really?
she from the back looks like one of those rice cake, you know, those onigiri things you get at 7-Eleven
Oh,
in
yeah, yeah.
Japan or whatever, the triangle
Yeah,
rice cakes. Looks exactly like one of those from behind.
that's funny. Her back sprite is like an onigiri, huh?
Yeah, yeah. If they put her in Pokemon, that would. I mean,
Put a rice cake in there. That's cute.
that would actually be a sick Pokemon idea, like a
A rice
triangular
cake
onigiri that
Pokemon.
evolves into the form of a panda if it gets below 50% health or something, but
Whoa.
like retracts into the onigiri form.
That's
That's
a
genius.
Zygarde 5%.
Exactly. That's $1 million idea.
You should go to the Pokemon company with your findings. Ask for a pay
Yeah,
cut.
like the guy who made Iron Jugulus did that, and
Look at where he is now.
look at him now.
He's selling mugs. He's getting a
Folks, I have an idea.
It's
Hydreigon,
just a
however,
a metal Hydreigon.
get this. I've turned to the ancient Latin texts for my naming convention, and you will not believe it.
Is there a meaning there beyond just like jugular is throat? And he's
Jugulus
of it?
in Latin is neck, but it's with a U instead of an I, so they took some creative liberty and changed the U to an
Wow.
I. I've got the whole lore for Iron Jugulus, don't
that's
worry.
clever. Yeah, thank you. I'm sure the viewers would know as well.
Yeah, it's common knowledge. He's like a household name. Everyone knows the story. So, Furret, what do you think the meaning of life is?
Who was this question from?
That's from me. That's from straight off the
wow.
top of the dome.
That's straight from Jim Cool, from the horse's mouth.
Indeed.
But you know, I mean, I'm a simple guy. I walk around in the tall grass. That's kind of where I derive meaning. But you know, that can be different for anyone.
For what purpose do you do that, and why does that provide you with like any sort of accomplishment or satisfaction?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Why do we do anything? What philosophers can help us there?
Perhaps Epictetus could weigh in.
Epictetus? What could what's his name?
Socrates.
Yeah, Socrates. He could assist.
Socrates.
Sisyphus could probably lend a.
That's not a philosopher. That is some Greek.
Thank you. I know that's a myth.
Some Greek mythological figure who was punished.
You know, there's a conversation there. Have you seen that Northernlion clip of where he's
Of
like,
course, I've seen
"Get it twisted"?
where he's
That's one of the classics.
just
I saw someone talking
absolutely
about that, and
riffing.
he was just like, "Watching this clip feels like watching 10 TikToks at the same time." He's a genius, man. Northernlion.
I love seeing him have mainstream appeal now. He's like really popular now.
Yeah,
And
it's
he's
a great
just
thing.
it's just completely organic. Like he's not engineering it at all. He's just like streaming and saying funny stuff.
Yeah,
And
he's been doing what he's always done.
I've been watching him for a long time. It's cool to see that
Yeah.
people get it.
Your streamer's favorite streamer. That was his name for a while, right?
It's true.
Smart guy.
That's aspirational for me. I feel like he's got a good attitude where he's just made it and he's just living his best life, like clocking it every day, doing the simple streams.
Yeah,
but they stand
absolutely.
out because of their simplicity. Or like, you know, doing Wordle or whatever he does, Wordle,
He's a
Costco.
smart guy. Like whenever he actually plays any games, he's pretty average at them usually. But he's just so entertaining. Like
Yeah, I was
just on
watching
his
him
own.
play that like WarioWare inspired indie game, and there's just this puzzle where it's like a strength puzzle in Pokemon where you got to get to the other side.
Yeah, you got to push the
He just
boulders.
failed it every time. It was
Is
actually
there a
looked
time
really
limit?
hard. Yeah,
Is there a
it's like
time limit?
WarioWare. It's like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it just
right.
says some adjective, some verb like.
That'd be him. He's halfway through a
Progress.
story, and then he's got to like quickly do this puzzle, and he just has no hope.
It was funny because there's this mini game on there where you got to memorize like 10 numbers in order, and you can do that perfectly. But then there's one where you got to put the most basic jigsaw puzzle, and he just fucked it up every time.
Poor guy.
How does this make any damn sense?
Yeah, Costco. That's a classic.
I went to Costco recently.
Oh, really?
I had the
Australian
pizza.
Costco. It's a pretty rare thing.
Yeah, there's like 2 in Sydney, I think.
Yeah, we've got one, I believe. I've never been myself.
The
but I've
$3
heard-
big
I've heard
slice of
good
pizza
things.
went kind of insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. The the Costco guys would be very proud of you.
That's how they get you though, is that they sell you a bunch of stuff you don't need, and you're like, wow, bulk like lentils, 5 kilograms of lentils. I'm gonna use that.
But then you don't need to buy lentils.
That's true.
But if you want to make lentiki, that's okay.
I mean, that might have been a good purchase, but I don't know. You don't realize how many lentils that is until you
did you
face
buy
it.
5 kilos?
I bought the
of
lentils. I
Is
was like, you know what? I'm always needing more lentils. We're always running out. Why not buy them in bulk? It's genius.
wow.
But it's a lot of lentils. There's a lot to ask of me.
Yeah, I feel like if I went to Costco, I would just get like a tray of cinnamon swirls or something, and then be a total piece
Well,
of
they-
shit and eat like half of them, and then feel sick.
You can get like $8 of like 50 cookies or something, but then it's like they expire tomorrow. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Like-
Do you have a huge cookie party? What
I
are we
guess
doing
so.
here?
I don't know what the market is for that. Maybe they're just trying to load off those cookies to you and without, you know, morally.
Best of luck to them. It's a cool business model. I feel like it's antithetic to a lot of how other retail shopping is heading. Like, everything's disposable. But Costco's selling in bulk, Get your shopping done at one place where you're getting a huge
The
amount of
rotisserie
everything
chicken
you
at
can cook
Costco is
home.
an insane value. It's like $7 for an entire big
$7?
chicken. Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, you
That's
can
like-
even get a chicken sandwich for that. That's like $17 at a cafe.
Yeah, wow. That's like old Woolies prices. For those unaware, we have a duopoly of supermarkets in Australia, Coles and Woolworths, and any other supermarket to them is like unusual, like Aldi or
Aldi kind of goes
home
crazy though.
brands.
Aldi's,
Yeah, Aldi's sick.
good value.
I mean, people just shop at Coles and Woolies because that's what they've always done. But you go to Aldi, everything's cheap as. It's just way better.
No, you should only go to Coles and Woolworths if they got sales on,
Yeah,
in my
absolutely.
opinion.
I agree with you.
Or if do you order from Woolworths? I don't know.
No, I'm not an orderer. I'm very compulsive. I'll like shop several times a week and just buy whatever pops into my head and then cook with that.
Ordering can be effective because you can
I would imagine.
accrue points and stuff, and they got more deals for like members. I mean, why are we talking about the Australian like grocery store metagame here?
This is what the
They're like
viewers wanna
saving the
hear.
most money. It's like get their everyday rewards at Woolworths and order the restaurant frozen pizza.
My friend works in marketing for, I think he does Coles, and he's like continuously frustrated with all of the campaigns that they do. Like they'll just do a campaign where you can like, if you can redeem membership points and get like a set of knives, and apparently the knives are just terrible quality.
I won't be
Pretty
doing
funny.
it.
I won't.
I
do
don't
it.
need those knives.
I won't besmirch Coles and Woolworths anymore. I think the government might get me. Furret's on the move at all times.
Well, you're very much a man of the land, and you like to gather your
yeah.
own berries from the
Exactly.
fertile soil and stuff like that.
I'm a independent, self-made sort of guy.
And you can use trickery to like take the items from others, like maybe
Great war.
leftovers, and leftovers can sustain you for a long time. I mean, we've seen Skarmory live on leftovers for up to 3 decades at this point. A simple
Yeah.
apple core can provide a lot of sustenance.
Apple peel, banana peel, various leftovers. That's a cool item,
How does it make any difference? It's a little apple core. How can it be used so many times?
but it only heals like a little bit. When you're playing the games, you don't really process how useful leftovers can be. Then
No.
you get into competitive, you're like, oh wow, okay, that's a whole new world.
I mean, you don't use the leftovers. You're more of a choice scarf trick
No,
kind of
no,
player, but
Leftovers are for the birds. I'm much more fast-paced than that.
is it considered like immoral to use leftovers among you and your peers? Is it like too powerful or dishonorable?
Leftovers is, I mean, it's a gentleman's agreement. Only certain brands of Pokemon can go near West Coast. I mean, leftovers. I don't know why I said West Coast.
Is this like the West Coast Pokemon are sort of leftovers users? The East Coast are more.
The East Coast have variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Australian restaurant chain, Furret?
Well,
As an
that's a great
Australian
question.
resident, what do you reckon? Like an Australian exclusive, like an Oporto or a
My favorite
Guzman
Australian
Gomez.
chain. Yeah, that's an Australian classic, Guzman y Gomez. My favorite chain, dude. I don't know. I don't eat at chains that much.
Can you support me on the fact that Outback Steakhouse is good, actually?
I've never been there. I
Oh.
wouldn't know.
'Cause
I don't know if I've ever even seen.
Like
an
there's
Outback
this
Steakhouse.
this idea online that Australians hate Outback Steakhouse because it's cultural appropriation or something.
Oh,
Like
dude.
because it's an American company that they just used Australia as like their theme. But
Dude,
I reckon
those
it's
same
good, man.
Those same Australians who are like, "Oh, watch out for the drop bears." They're the ones who would be like, "Outhacks. There are no Outback Steakhouses in Australia. This isn't accurate. You shouldn't eat there."
I used to
blah,
go
blah,
there all
blah."
the time as like a kid. I thought it was just
Did
an
you really?
Australian restaurant chain. There was one near my
Oh,
my
cool.
childhood home.
I don't know if I've ever seen an Outback Steakhouse, but
Well,
I'm sure it's a cool
The
place.
Bloomin'
They do the
Onion goes
onions,
crazy.
right?
That's better than we've ever come up with. What do we got?
Yeah.
Vegemite?
That's like a
like-
double name because Bloomin' is kind of like an expletive, and then it's also like a flower in bloom.
It's honestly brilliant. It's
Yeah. Oh, dude, Americans are just so far ahead in food. They just understand like what goes into your taste buds. It's down to a science. Everything's loaded up with like salt and sodium, MSG.
yeah. Put a bunch of salt and sugar and
Exactly.
bacon and
That'll taste
ketchup.
pretty good.
I think Outback Steakhouse is better than any like Australian restaurant chain. To be honest, I can't think of any that are
You're probably right, man.
like a
I
Porto is
can't-
pretty good. I don't hate it, but it's kind
is
of
Porto even that's like Mexican, isn't it? The Porto.
well, it's like made in
Yeah,
Australia,
it's
but
Australian, but it's Mexican food.
Portuguese.
Okay. Yeah, Portuguese. Thank you.
We don't have food, man. We don't have food.
We don't have an identifiable form of food except for like bush tucker.
Barramundi, does that even count?
Yeah, that's
Kangaroo
probably
meat?
Australian.
You ever had that?
meat. I've never had that actually. I have a friend who had that.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, right. I've heard it's quite rich.
It's like it's hard to chew. Those
Actually, I don't
kangaroos are
mind
powerful.
Domino's. There you go. Domino's is
Isn't
pretty
that
good value.
American?
I don't know, probably. What the hell's an Australian chain? Everything's just like America dipping its toes into the water anyway. Like
Porto is an
McDonald's.
exclusive.
Porto's an exclusive?
Yeah. And
Australian food chains. I'm looking this up.
maybe we can
Oh,
claim
it's-
like McCafe because that originated in Australia.
Red Rooster, there's one. That's
Red Rooster.
atrocious. That's horrible stuff.
It's nothing.
La Porchetta, that's a classic. I like La Porchetta.
I've
You
never
can
had
get
it.
you can get like a pretty easy, just like pasta there. It's pretty expensive now, but I used to go there every now and then.
I'm
You can get
furious
a
at how
cheap pasta.
expensive Italian food is these days. It's ridiculous.
It's so unfair. You just have to be good at making it. It's the way of the world, man. Everything convenient is now hiked up its price. Once it's secured its market.
It's inflated.
Furret knows this.
The Italian food bubble will pop one day. No, they won't. People
Italian
pay
food bubble.
people will pay anything for a pasta with tomato sauce.
Oh, for sure.
It's ridiculous.
Carbonara, man. People pay through the nose for that. I made a carbonara the other day. It was fantastic, and it took about 20 minutes. You know, that's worth it to me.
I didn't consider you a chef for it. I guess anyone can
Oh,
cook.
yeah. I got fingers and toes. I can cook.
Well, that's all you need.
Baker's Delight. That's a good one. Get some good breads there.
That's
you can get like some
that's all right. That's
pastries.
a bakery.
That's pretty okay. I can't think of a single other one.
Everything that comes to
Nando's.
mind is like, oh, that's American. Like I
Yeah.
thought 7-Eleven meat pie for a moment. That's American. That's
No,
not
that's
it.
American. McDonald's, Domino's, Hungry Jack's. That's Burger King in
It's
America.
Burger King, but it's been rebranded.
Yeah. Well, apparently Burger King was like there was just like some like one restaurant trademark of Burger King in Australia, and when America tried to bring Burger King over, he just refused to drop the trademark, so they had to rebrand. I think that's how
That's
the
fun.
story goes.
Yeah.
That's like the dude in Better Call Saul. You know that goes on the Mesa Verde property when they're trying to expand there?
Just
That's
like a
classic.
troll. I like stories like that. Have you heard about that guy who made this MMO in like the 90s? It was like the first MMO. It's called worlds.com. It's just like a 3D chat room.
Really?
And he has the patent for like interactive 3D world online
Ooh.
gaming or something. So he just consistently sues Blizzard and like Square. It just lives off the...
Really?
Yeah, and he just sits on the patent.
That's amazing.
It's ridiculous.
I could imagine how much he would make off like Second Life and those sort of chat
Oh
rooms.
yeah, the
That
VR
would go
chat.
crazy.
He did the first one, so he just has that.
IMVU, Habbo Hotel. Chat rooms? No, you gotta pay your dues to worlds.com creator. That's fun.
Well, anyway, Furret, it's been an honor chatting with you. You got any closing thoughts for the people?
Damn. Yeah, we've been talking a while. I didn't I didn't think people wanted to hear what Furret had to say so much, but
No,
here I am.
You're beloved.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for being a fan of the Jim Cool channel. It's been a pleasure to watch it grow from humble beginnings.
Absolutely.
If you want to see some funny videos, just go back through early Jim Cool videos.
Don't do that. Don't do that, folks.
You can see classics like
Such as top 5
Chimp-
Pokemon.
Yeah, top 5 Pokemon. I mean, that was late into your YouTube career by all metrics. There are a bunch of hidden videos that are all-time classics.
And they'll never see the light of day ever again.
You got to watch a classic like I've Learnt Norwegian. That's a really good one.
I did. Tusen tak, folks.
Yeah. Chimp Criminal. You got to watch that. I love games.
Don't watch that.
That's a really good movie.
Do not watch that one. All right. Well, I'll let you go, Furret. Back into the forest.
Thank you, mate.
You
Yeah.
can
Back to the tall grass for me. Back to Route 1.
enjoy yourself. Thank you very much for coming on to chat. It's been an honor.